Well, we've been talking about Texas A&M. For number one, it's the pressure vice. Through 2 games, they have caused 49 turnovers. They're going to make Kansas State uncomfortable all afternoon. And the board chair, they have got to continue to lead the way, and they dominate on the glass. They need second chances, and it's got to be one and done on the defensive end. For Kansas State, you got to jump back in. Just as Sophie mentioned, respond to the disappointment of that loss is critical. The energy, the effort, and a sense of urgency today. And one-on-one stops. It was an issue against the Coyotes containing press penetration. It's been a struggle. You got to lock down one-on-one, and you've got to be in good help. It's going to be team defense that's going to win here this afternoon.
Wildcats open up with Ramaya White getting her first career start. She gets just a shot inside of Johnny, who will get it back here facing White, the 6'5" transfer from Virginia Tech. A long possession here for A&M, but they come empty after 3 shots. And the Wildcats to the offensive end for the first time. Garcia running the point again for K-State. You see Terrence Side sporting that left shoulder brace. K-State staff saying beforehand, not a concern. Harrod on the drive, fouled by Lauren Ware.
And Lauren Ware at 6'5", averaging over almost 25 minutes a game. She had 15 points in their game against Tarleton State. But Joni Taylor says she's the rim protector. She is the quarterback, so to speak, for this defense for Texas A&M. So she's going to clean up a lot of messes back there. I have a feeling the size disparity and the ability for A&M to have size in the post, the reason why Ramaya White is in the starting lineup for Jeff Mittie here today. Plus, she gave big minutes and had good effort even in the loss to South Dakota earlier in the week.
Yeah, shooting 90% from the field on the season, so lethal once she gets it inside. K-State's Harrod misses both free throws, only about a 50% free throw shooter. K-State is a team at 74%. Three-pointer by Johnny, and she's going to hit it.
The 6'2" junior, she came from St. Peter's. She was the top defensive rebounder in the nation a year ago. She is tenacious on the glass, but you see she's 3 levels. She's got the ability to step out and create and hit threes.
Running shot by Sides will go long. White couldn't get there for the rebound. A&M trying to turn the tempo up. Johnny's going to pull up for another. It'll be short. The rebound to Sides, a good rebounding guard. Garcia spinning away from trouble. Sides the trailer 3. Tess Heal, we mentioned her in the outset, doing the little things for K-State. It's a reset for the Wildcats.
You've got to create secondary opportunities, those second chances on the offensive glass. They're going to be big here this afternoon.
Johnny had only hit 1 out of 7 threes prior to that make earlier. K-State seems like they're going to sag off some players. Ware, I should say, the 7th-year player for the Aggies, unable to hit the jumper.
Ware made 28 starts a season ago, and you think about that in her time. She transferred from Arizona, one of the top 5 in the SEC last season in blocks. So that rim protection is critical, but she's got a scoring capacity and a scoring ability. We saw it in her time at Arizona, and she's been able to add that for the Aggies here. Thriving in this system where if you're Joni Taylor and you want to be able to move them in and out, give them a 15-foot jumper, they're going to knock it down.
Early sub for the Aggies. Celeste Blow is going to stop by Joni Taylor for a conversation. Kent off the bench is in. Garcia a runner and a finger roll for the freshman.
She had 14 points in the loss to South Dakota, went 12 of 12 from the free throw line.
Travel is getting too deep was Lamaya Hilton. Transfer from Arizona and Miami. Stutter steps her feet.
The ability for Gina Garcia to be able to get herself away from defense, handle contact, and finish. You don't see that very often from a freshman, but one thing that she's been able to do is control the flow of the game. She's going to have to handle pressure here today.
Drive and another kick. It's open for Sides. In and out. 2 good looks for Sides early. K-State's best 3-point shooter. For a team littered with 3-point ability, but yet have really hit their stride this season.
And I think you said it. Those are good looks. Those are exactly the shots within the framework that Jeff Mittie wants Terrence Sides to take.
Harrod adjusts the shot and knocked it out off of Janae Kent. As we see Isela Arenas for the first time come in and begin to look at the block shot.
And Terrence Sides gets hung up on that high ball screen, set really inside the 3-point line. Then you're in help. Everyone's got to be aware. Much better job of rotating, and Harrod getting over with a great ability. We've seen her leaping ability to be able to get off the floor. She can block shots.
Rod a little early on the jump for the rebound. Now dives on the ball. The arrow will go to K-State, so they'll get the team rebound out of this. Yes, Rod, one that likes to block shots by leaping up and grabbing them as opposed to swatting at them.
And loose balls and 50-50 possessions. This can be a difference maker in a game like today. Both of these squads dealing with a host of new players on their rosters. For Kansas State, we have seen the numbers that have come through for them. For Texas A&M, 12 new players, 7 transfers, 5 freshmen. The 7 transfers, the most in the SEC. They were picked 14th in the preseason SEC media poll. But I think this is a group, as they continue to come into their own, can do some damage in that league just based on the talent they have.
Now, they needed a refresh after 10 wins last season. Garcia does a good job of just running by Johnny and forcing the ball out of bounds. You see here's kind of the summary on both of these two teams who have reset their respective programs. K-State, a large group, a successful group, one of the greatest eras for the Wildcat program's history. They had to reset A&M, a different sort of feeling. Hey, we got to get things changed culture-wise after a tough loss.
Well,
tough season.
Yeah, you mentioned it. 10-19 a year ago, 3-13 in the SEC. That is not an easy road whatsoever to play in the SEC, but you've got to be able to compete night in, night out. And I think they were missing some key pieces. Some that have come back. You get a Lauren Ware, you have that type of response from veteran players. You add the new pieces. This is where you figure out how everyone fits.
Garcia drops it off for Heal. Another drive and a kick. It finds Arenas, top of the circle, straight on, and she'll drill it.
It was a quiet game on Thursday night from Isela Arenas. 15+ minutes, did not score, but that three-point ability opens the floor for this Wildcat offense.
She can score offense in a hurry. Here's Spicer, who has showed more of this driving to the basket ability than three-point shot, with it not falling in her early freshman season. And a ball out of bounds to K-State. Zanaya Foy will come back in. Spicer we'll hear more about later in this game. The McDonald's All-American for K-State, the first in their history.
And she was just 1 of 5 from behind the three-point line against South Dakota. All good looks. I think they were within the framework, as we've said. Those are the ones that the K-State coaching staff does not want the freshmen to pass up. However, you got to find that confidence. She had one go in. You could kind of see that her shoulders were able to relax after she made a 3, but then you know you've got to have a diversified game. Got to find different ways to be able to score in this offense.
Little pick and pop with Harad. Right elbow jumper is short, and in the rebound. Pushing pace with Pryor. Trying to break down Arenas. Pien Steenbergen from the Netherlands is in. She has it down on the baseline. Shut down by Harad. Ware doubled. And a foul on K-State.
Steenbergen comes in at 6'1", the redshirt junior. She had been at Liberty, played 66 games there in her career. They were in the NCAA tournament a year ago. So when you think about resetting your roster and what that looks like, you're looking for players that understand success. They have experience, but then say, yes, I've been into the NCAA tournament. Life in the big dance is fantastic. You want to get back there.
Yeah, being in the portal, certainly you can window shop and find all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
But if you're focused on what pieces you want, you can find experience in, as you said, winning experience very quickly. Drive here by Ware results in a foul, and she'll get 2 free throws.
Two-man game for Texas A&M, able to look a little bit of pick and pop and some options for Steenbergen as they set that ball screen. She comes high, and then it's Lauren Ware to be able to roll. And you can't get caught up. There's got to be communication. Rotation on the backside by the freshman Foy, but just a tad late. You're not going to block that shot. That's where you've got to stay vertical. If I'm the K-State coaches, I'd say, you know what, I'll give up the layup and not have you commit a foul just simply because you want to harbor those. You don't want those to go to waste. And those instances, you're not going to be able to block 6'5", not in that position.
Ware, as we mentioned, one of the 2 Arizona Wildcats, former Arizona Wildcats on this team. She did not play at Arizona, injured back in 2023, but did average 6 points a game in 2022. Here she blocks the shot of Foy on the drive. So Ware making an impact early. No field goals in the last 4 minutes for A&M, but they've been able to tie the game from the free throw line. Steenbergen in the corner, loses Spicer, and then hits a three.
Spicer just loses her footing, goes down, and it's just enough space for Steenbergen to get that shot off. Just 1 of 4 in 2 games coming into today, but knocks it down from the corner.
A&M 2 out of 4 from behind the arc early. Spicer, a fadeaway three, didn't get it. Rebound batted to Ware.
And it's been one and done, which we said would be so important for A&M here to start this ball game.
Pryor inside of Garcia, able to make it on the scoop shot.
We talked about her in the open, that it is elite. It's elite on both ends in terms of her being a lockdown defender, but the speed and quickness, she can control a game and she can get to the rim.
7-0 run here by Texas A&M. A lot of freshmen and youth on the court at the moment for K-State. Garcia to Spicer. Shot clock winding down. Arenas couldn't hit it. Harad, another offensive rebound. It cycles around to Foy. She drills a three.
Make the next pass, find an open shooter. Great decision by Arenas not to launch a deep three, but to find Foy out on that wing.
Ware screaming for the ball down in the paint for A&M. K-State collapses quickly. Steenbergen, right wing, didn't hit it. And here come the Cats trying to turn the tempo up a little bit. Garcia leaves it for Foy, another three, that'll be off. And Steenbergen the rebound. This is a very good A&M rebounding team, second in the SEC in offensive rebounding, but 4th overall in rebound margin at plus 11.
And they do a great job of locking down the defensive glass. They are not going to give you second chance opportunities.
Steenbergen wants a left wing three. That'll be short. Hit her first, missed the last 2. Arenas will bring the ball up the court. And now Garcia to settle things down. Garcia making her 3rd straight start for K-State at the point guard spot. They love her distribution abilities. Shot clock winding down, hand down. Spicer takes the shot. That'll miss. Harad had the rebound, but lost it out of bounds to A&M. And that'll send us to a timeout. And just like you're going to see in the SEC, look at a resume for Coach Taylor, former assistant for the national team. In the half court, A&M. Set 3 for Kent, and that is good. So a team that does not shoot well behind the arc, at least early this season, has hit their threes to begin.
Yeah, Janae Kent spent 1 year at LSU. She started all 29 games a year ago. So one of those players that gives you the ability to stretch the floor and help this Texas A&M offense score in different ways.
3 out of 7 of the Aggies from deep came in to just 30%. Granted, just 2 games. The Aggies have only played 2 contests, the fewest in all of Division I. Spicer trying to get away from Johnny. Will drive, reverse layup, gets blocked and taken away by A&M.
The defensive intensity has ratcheted up for the Aggies. You can tell that was a conversation they had in that huddle. It is the one thing Joni Taylor did not like about their first half performance in their win against Tarleton State earlier in the week. She thought they started slow, but they didn't have that disruptive mentality defensively.
Kent drives, draws contact, will get to the free throw line. And the foul will go against Spicer.
Kent had 8 double-figure games last season, as we said, started all 29 matchups last year for A&M, just one of a few returners that saw time in the SEC last season. But it's versatile. That's one of the things I think you can say about almost every player on this roster for Joni Taylor, is that they are versatile, that they are going to give you so many different looks and options. 3-level scorers, people that can put it on the floor and create, 3-point shooters, drive and dish. It's a little bit of everything, and that's life in the SEC.
Kent made the first, gets a friendly roll on the second. Then hit the back of the rim and just stopped and then dropped. Kent, an interesting story of the offseason. We'll get to a story about that from Sophie here in a little bit.
This is the end of the floor right here, Brian, where K-State's got to find some execution. They've got to be able to work inside out.
Maya White working her way around, lost the ball. Tess Heal comes out of there with it. Spicer, a long three, switch!
And that's the range that the freshman has. As we said, it's just 1 of 5 on Thursday night, but now to see that ball go in yet again here at home gives her a little bit more confidence from deep.
Always hear it from players like yourself that have played the game before. Shooters shoot, right? You got to have a shooter's mentality. Just clear it, just keep going.
Yes. And if you can find other ways to get yourself involved in the offense, that's even better. And we've seen Jordan Spicer do that here early in this game, whether it's to get on the glass and be aggressive. But that mid-range jumper for Tess Heal, that's also the type of play that you want to see within the framework of this K-State offense.
Heal, who has family who played professional basketball. Spicer runs an Aggie off the three-point line. Rebound, there's Spicer diving for it for K-State. Rolls it to sides, but too strong, it goes out. And it'll be Aggie basketball.
Those are those 50-50 possessions, but you love the effort, and that's what you want to see. Freshmen on the floor, going all out, trying to get themselves engaged, finding that energy and effort, and that sense of urgency here that Kansas State just really didn't have the majority of the game in that loss to the Coyotes on Thursday.
So the Aggies by 2, trying to keep it that way, maybe add on an extra salvo here at the end of the first. They will get the ball to begin the second. Spencer comes to get the ball. Trying to clear Kent. Arenas on her. Double on Kent, and that'll run out the first quarter. Good defense by the Wildcats. And as we expected, early on between these second, pretty even across the board, as the Aggies lead by 2.
Not much that stands out, just in the sense that both of these teams have, I think, gotten the shots they've wanted within the framework. And that time, Jordan Webster, the transfer, spent time at UC Riverside, was at Kansas a year ago, did not play there because she was injured, but comes in to start the second. The big 3 from the corner.
Already 4 threes for the Aggies. Size, a drive and a kick. Tess Heal, left wing 3. That'll go down.
And that's the match. You got to get good ball movement, and that's where K-State can get stagnant. When you stand, you are easily guarded. They've got to cut, you got to move, and you've got to make the next pass.
Ware being flustered by Heal and White. K-State wanted a 5 count, but they'll get a turnover anyway as Spicer intercepts the pass, and then a reach-in foul by Jonna.
We said in the first quarter it seemed as though the defensive intensity for Texas A&M went to another level. Now, out of the second quarter break, you're seeing the Kansas State defense come with a little bit more sense of urgency. Out in the passing lanes, looking to double into the post, and then you've got to spread out. You've got to cover the paint and then get yourself into some of those passing lanes for tips and opportunities.
Jonna now with 2 fouls has to come out of the game. So we'll start her to the bench for the Aggies. Side sees an opening. Drive, won't go. White got boxed out. Tried to slap the rebound to a teammate. Could not. Pryor. Hard on the dribble will circle the back at A&M to the half court. Done a good job of getting it into Ware and finding shooters. Pryor's going to shoot a 3. And gets a friendly roll. How about 5 first half 3-pointers now by this Texas A&M squad?
You love to see their ability just not to pass up good shots, and that's what they have done. They have taken all of these threes, and they have ones that Kansas State has given them.
Garcia somehow sneaks that in on a blow-by down the right side of the paint.
And Nye Pryor frustrated. She did everything she could to be able to keep Gina Garcia in front, but she's got the ability to spin it off the glass and get it to go.
Battle inside, and there's Ware. Her first field goal, 4 points. Ware, though, has been a monster on the glass early. A couple of assists and has played nearly every minute to this point.
And at 6'5", that is just the type of inside presence that Texas A&M needs. They'd be able to not only have that rim protection, but someone that can finish on the other end through contact.
White delivers to Heal, sets a screen. Heal will drive. Trying to lob it down to White, but it got knocked away. Aggies leaking out early. They beat K-State back with a layup.
The transition, that's what they want to do. Create some offense with your defense. Didn't do it as much in the first half of their game on Thursday against Tarleton State, but it was much better in the second.
And a grab by Pryor on the drive by Garcia will be her first. Look at this last play. Jeff Biddy almost stepped down the court to call timeout.
I don't think he liked the effort of this Kansas State defense to get back, but give credit because Hilton gets leaked and she gets out quick. But it also comes because it's heads up by Nye Pryor. We mentioned her at the beginning, her ability to control the game on both ends. The ball in her hands, good things have happened for this A&M offense.
Garcia finds White, but she couldn't hang on to it. Otherwise, that would have been a layup.
2 now looks at a 2-man game opportunity with Ramaya White. Neither one have come with a good result. 2 turnovers by Kansas State. You got to put her in a position where she can catch and finish.
Pryor mid-range. K-State does use a timeout as Texas A&M is up.
Position. I asked Joni Taylor prior to the game about having Nye Pryor come to Texas A&M. She said it was a huge get. She is still learning, though. In her time at Sacred Heart at that mid-major level, it's a jump to the P5. But she understands what it's going to take to be one of the elite guards in the SEC, and you're seeing that here early.
Put up eye-popping numbers at Sacred Heart. 3-time All-League pick, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Led the country in steals, if you think about that. That's aggressiveness, and that is just controlling a game and making your opponent miserable each and every night.
I mean, had multiple games of 10 steals or more. So, I mean, we're not talking about like, hey, yeah, she led the league because she had 5 steals a game. No. We're talking
double
like,
figures.
yeah, like 10, 9, 8 steals a game is what she would pop.
Yep.
Each and every night.
An average just shy of 19 points a game. That was her career average at Sacred Heart. So again, 3-level scorer, multiple ways to do it. And you're seeing here be in control on the road at Bramlage.
Boyer working around White.
Great execution, out of bounds underneath by Texas A&M, setting some screens, getting where that ISO and post right in the middle of the lane.
An 8-0 run here by Texas A&M. And a 14-5 second quarter after a 2-point first frame. This young Wildcat team getting a little taste of what conference play will be like in the Big 12. Arenas into a bad spot, needs help. Garcia, shot clock winding down. Right elbow jumper will hit the rim, but they do not get the rebound.
Big defensive stand right there by the Aggies, shut down the penetration.
Pryor couldn't quite get the circus shot, but she does get the whistle.
And that all starts with the effort by Texas A&M on the other end defensively. They force Kansas State into a terrible shot as the shot clock is winding down, and then you are off to the races, and that's what they love, to be able to get that possession, get out and go. Ball in the hands of Pryor in the middle of the floor, and good things have happened so far right here for A&M.
Pryor to the free throw line. This is the first free throw short, 16 points in the opener against A&M Corpus Christi. Comes into this game, however, 59 career games of 20 points or more. None yet this season, but it's been double figures in each and every game and headed that way again with 8 here in the first half.
If you ask both of the coaches coming into today, knowing you got to continue to take steps towards improvement, what does that look like? Right now, the biggest improvement for A&M has been on this end of the floor, forcing careless turnovers like that by Kansas State. They force them into tough shots. Shot clock's winding down. All of the pieces of the puzzle that they've been able to put together here so far in this first half have worked for A&M. 7
turnovers, as you see there, for Kansas State. It has led to a 7-0 run for A&M with the points off turnovers. A lot of threes early. Hilton on the drive. Finds Kent in the corner. Short on that three-point try, and Arenas the rebound. And the Wildcats get some offense. They have not scored in over 3 minutes. Foy, a corner three. Got it, her second.
And that ends the drought right there for Kansas State, but good ball move, be able to use the pick and pop and find shooters in the corners, even over the outstretched hand of the contest by A&M.
Spicer does have a very keen ability to pass, as Pryor on a screen is wide open to get to 10 points.
No communication that time by Kansas State defensively. You've got to be able to tell her that screen is coming. And if you're Gina Garcia, you've got to make a decision. Go over, especially inside that three-point line.
Arenas, a nifty move to get the ball to Spicer. Spicer then runs out of room and turns it over. So a freshman mistake, perhaps by Spicer, and an early mistake by Arenas, who got the step through and may have had a shot.
I think Spicer had it in her head she was going to go. And then she saw Lauren Ware do exactly what her job is to cover space and to lock down the paint for Texas A&M, and things change. You've got to be able to have that pull-up, the floater, the mid-range, take the contact, even if it gets blocked and goes out of bounds, you may get a whistle. That's the next evolution for Jordan Spicer.
One of the issues for K-State this last week has been they are without one of their starters in the Belgian forward and national team member Nastia Claessens. That'll be a travel on the attempt on the drive-by blow, and so a turnover by A&M. Nastia Claessens, the junior from Belgium, had been a starter and had been K-State's second leading scorer, leading rebounder through 2 games for Jeff Mittie. Also led them in steals, had been just a rock for them inside, but now stepping away from the team to be with the Belgian national team. She should return this week. Spicer tried to sell she was fouled, but you see the quickness of Pryor rifling through there to knock it away.
Well, the absence of Nastia Claessens, I think, kind of is the exposure of Kansas State not having a ton of options depth-wise in the post where you can play inside out, have players that can step behind that three-point line, be that stretch for position, but also just her experience that she is very even-keeled and level-headed because of all the time she spent in the international game.
And having a good week with the Belgian national team is Claessens, averaging about 6 points, 5 boards a game, coming off the bench. Foy in the drive, couldn't hit it, but a foul is called, and so she'll get to the free throw line. Anaya Foy has had a good start to the game, a Texas native out of Katy, Texas.
You know, she would love to have that one back and have a chance at the three-point play, but even so, the blow-by off the handoff. And Texas A&M late on their rotation, and now she's headed to the free throw line where the freshman, she started against South Dakota on Thursday night, did not score, had 2 points. She's been averaging just a bit over 14 minutes a game. She hasn't made that many trips to the free throw line. Coming into today, she was 4 of 6. But it's an aggressive nature. It's finding your spots. It's understanding where you fit within the framework and the scheme of what Jeff Mittie and his staff want to do. But you can see in spurts the athleticism and the speed that Anaya Foy brings to the floor.
This young team is going to see, spurting is the right word, because they're going to see spurts of greatness and then spurts of just what in the world is going on. And Jeff Mittie and his staff know that's going to be the case with such a young team, the way they've built it. Royer fighting through traffic and scoring. She's got 8.
Right now, 6'5", very difficult for Kansas State to deal with in the post. But Lauren Ware, one of those players, because of her experience, understands how to finish through traffic.
Spicer couldn't hit the 3. A rebound, though, to K-State. Here's Foy, leading scorer for the Cats. Drives baseline, gets fouled, will head to the free throw line. For more on this young team and really the newest member of the Wildcats with all these transfers as well, let's go to Sophie Smith.
Yeah, Brian, well, Jeff Mittie really feels like this team is still not competing together completely. He said there are moments. He said that a lot of his young players are worried about their game, what they have to do, how they can be better individually, and he expects a lot out of these returners and veteran players because he knows what they're capable of and just wants to see them play as a collective 5 instead of worrying about how they're playing individually.
Saw Arenas come out a moment ago after trying to take A&M one-on-one, and I think as Jeff Mittie talked with her as she came out, I think that's part of what they're trying to get away from is, all right, let's not spread the floor and try and go drive every time. We got to figure out how to play together as a unit, and that's going to take time, you would think. Even you get all the months of practice ahead of this, it's still going to take time in games.
Well, and you can attack, you can play fast, but you have to play smart. And I think that's what this is, the learning curve. And again, with so many new faces on this Kansas State roster, yes, you have an Arenas and White and Janessa Cotton, and they come from other places as transfers, but they didn't see a lot of minutes. They were not in their starting rotations. You had Isela Arenas, who was averaging, just shy of 12 minutes a game at Louisville, never started a game, didn't have a ton of game time or floor time. And so this is also their piece here early. I think this challenge of a game like Texas A&M and the different weapons and the different things you're going to see this afternoon, it's eye-opening, but it's also a huge learning opportunity.
Yep, and that's all part of it now. State going to take some lumps early. Their goal is to try and be a finished, polished product to compete in the league in the Big 12 and make a push for the NCAA tournament. After a Sweet 16 appearance a year ago. Mid-range jumper won't fall. Harrod the rebound for K-State.
And Celeste Blow coming off 18 points against Tarleton State. Hasn't been able to find the bottom of the net yet so far here this afternoon, but a great one-on-one move that was stopped.
Harrod missed the shot, and it's out of bounds to who? To K-State.
And Kansas State's going to get this possession back here.
Hustle by Harad on rebounds is something else.
Yeah, she's tenacious, and that's exactly what Jeff Mittie has told her she has to be able to do. Scoring will come. Those opportunities will be there. Her athleticism and her ability to get rebounds on both ends of the floor, one of the things that they have to be able to rely on. It's got to be consistent throughout the course of the season.
State trying to pick themselves up after trailing by as many as 12. Here's Sides, shut down by the Aggies to this point. Good find by Garcia. And then Sides hits the three.
That's a great sign for this Wildcat offense to get good ball movement and a kick out for Taryn Sides. She was 2 of 4 from behind the three-point line, 19 points in the loss against South Dakota, but she's got to get involved early and often.
Rod went for the steal. That means Ware matched up against Sides in the post, but passed out of it. White able to relocate inside on Ware. Ball was lost on the drive, but somehow Hilton recovers and scores.
She's crafty, and she's going to turn that corner quick. And it was one area that was a struggle on Thursday night against the Coyotes, and Jeff Mittie said it in the postgame. They just didn't think that this team defended one-on-one well. They got beat off the bounce in multiple occasions, whether it was late in shot clocks, whether it was right out of the gate, whether it's in the full court. It was just a struggle from start to finish. So you know it's been a point of emphasis and something they've talked about, to be able to take up space and cut off penetration lanes.
Lauren Ware right there in that timeout, getting after her team in the huddle. That's the 5th foul on A&M. So to the free throw line go the Wildcats. It's Harad, who missed 2 earlier. And she'll miss this one. Harad spends a lot of time on free throws. Number 38 player in the country, coming out of high school. Put up eye-popping numbers down at Oklahoma City, won a state title at Putnam City North. Part of this top 10 recruiting class for K-State. She'll hit her first free throw, get her first point, and it pulls K-State within 8 with under a minute and a half to play in the first half.
Well, with 2 fouls for Nye Pryor for Texas A&M, she is on the bench, but they're getting some quality minutes right here from number 4, Cheney Spencer. The freshman has come in, not at all phased, stepping up inside that three-point line for a mid-range jumper.
Spencer's first hoop. The Aggies hitting 45% of their shots in this first half. Garcia trying to find a pass to either White or Harad, and neither got it.
Yeah, she was looking for Brandy Harad, who is out on the perimeter, but made the cut when Garcia went baseline. And that miscue right there, miscommunication by both. It's one thing about Gina Garcia is she can't over dribble. She can put herself in tough spots, and then she leaves her feet. Once you do that, you are out of options.
Three-pointer is good in the corner from Hilton.
62 career games at Arizona and Miami, coming to Texas A&M. She's been a 37% career three-point shooter and has stepped up here this afternoon to knock down a couple big ones in the first half.
K-State will work for the final shot after a 26-point second quarter by Texas A&M. Garcia splits a double team, wanted to pass it off to Harad. It gets knocked out to A&M. With 2.7 left, that's 10 turnovers by Kansas State. Spencer will not let it go. That'll end this first half. I think Texas A&M wanted Spencer to try and make a go of it, but she did not get it up the court. The half end.
For Kansas State, it's this one-on-one stops. That's the differentiator. They've got to be able to find a way to get their defense to close out and close down. They've got to handle this pressure against this Texas A&M defense, but then they've got to turn it up themselves.
Not a bad set by K-State offensively to begin the second half as they had the ball first, but Harad misses the layup, and here come the Aggies the other way. 26 points put up by A&M against the K-State defense in the second quarter. Trying to get inside. K-State will change the starting lineup to begin the second 20 minutes. Spicer in there defending Ware. And Harad able to block the shot away to get K-State out and running the other direction. Spicer, the trailer three. Hit it!
One thing Joni Taylor told me before the game, she was worried about the ability of this K-State team to shoot it from deep. You've got to pick up in transition. You've got to understand where those shooters are at all times.
Spicer now has hit 2 threes in a game for the first time in her career. Maybe starting to see the lid come off the basket after a tough start. Hilton on the dribble drive. Reach-in foul on K-State. And she'll be headed to the free throw line. Let's go to Sophie Smith with, speaking of Joni Taylor, an update from the Aggie coach.
Thanks, Brian. Just talked to her coming out of the half, and she said that she really liked how they shared the basketball in that first half. She thought they were very aggressive on defense, but they have to continue to make sure they get back and eliminate the three. You know, K-State's going to come out, be hot, coming out, shooting that three ball, and they need to take that away, not foul, and not let them get to the free throw line.
A&M getting to the free throw line, missing the first with Hilton. One more coming up. Second free throw will go in. That is 8 for Hilton, the Miami transfer, who, like a lot of the ones for K-State, did not play a whole lot for the Hurricanes. Getting a chance to start here for A&M. Garcia, nifty move, loses one of the nation's best defenders in Pryor.
And that's just one-on-one, be able to back her down, knowing you've got a size advantage. You want to exploit that when you can get those ISO looks.
Johnny didn't play much in that first half because of foul trouble. In there to start the third. She and Pryor playing with 2 fouls. Here's Hilton. Slicing through the defense. Missed the layup and the rebound to Spicer. Good block out on Ware.
Multiple times that this Texas A&M offense here early has been able to get deep, but now it's Harad. And that's where you create offense with your defense into transition.
Truthfully, K-State would much rather be that type of team, running and just going to the basket. It's getting to that point with defense that has been the struggle. Great finish by Pryor, the face of Harad.
You've got to have stops. That is the differentiator. It doesn't matter, no matter how fast you want to go, how smart you can play in the open floor. Unless they get stops on the other end, it makes it incredibly difficult.
Harad trying to take Ware off the dribble 2 times in a row. The second time she does not make the layup.
Yeah, I like the ISO, though. Those are good looks if they put her in a position where she can score.
Pryor scoop shot, amazing.
There's a reason why she had a career average of close to 19 points a game. She's a playmaker and one of a very highly sought after transfer in the portal, coming to A&M and growing in her role for the Aggies.
Just 5'3", but what a dynamo. Here's Side, step to the left three-pointer, switch! K-State, after weeks of frustration from behind the arc, hitting threes the way they expected it to go this season, 8 of 15, but they find themselves down 8 due to defense. The Aggies have got whatever they wanted.
Yeah, the three will open up your offense. It gives you the ability to be explosive. But on the flip side, you've got to have stops on the other end. Right now, Kansas State trying to trade baskets.
Sides wanting a foul is not going to get the call. Aggies come back the other way. Pryor taking over here in the third quarter for the A&M Aggies. Heal trying to save it, could not. It'll stay with Texas A&M. Here's Spencer coming back into the game to give Pryor a breather. Pryor with 16 as she heads to the bench.
Yeah, and a point of emphasis coming out of that halftime, that attack mentality. Able to get downhill, open the floor, play with space, that inside out with good shot selection. Those are all things that have been a focus for Joni Taylor and her staff with this A&M squad early in the season.
Pryor getting a breather out of Baltimore, Maryland. Spencer. Got Spicer in the air. Ware was open. Instead out to Johnny, who hits a 3.
Ability to step behind that three-point line has come into today here on the road, averaging a double-double to start the season. Saddled with some fouls in that first half, but she can look to get it going quick.
And A&M guilty of a couple of too many touches on Heal's drive. The foul will be the first on the Aggies here in the third. Three-point shooting. If you're Joni Taylor, you got to be ecstatic about the offensive end. We heard Sophie at the outset say they wanted to score in different ways. They weren't just going to rely on the half court.
No.
They have scored in multiple ways.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that she also sees is that, you know, their philosophy, you can't trade threes for twos. So you've got to defend the three-point line, but you can have that same mentality offensively. If teams are going to give you those looks from behind the arc, then you've got to step up and shoot with confidence.
Spicer, really deep 3. And the McDonald's All-American starting to feel it now for K-State.
That's the range. If you're going to give her that space, she's going to look to let it fly. Jordan Spicer now finding her rhythm here in the second half.
Spencer, an answer three, is an air ball. Arenas the rebound. A 10-point game as K-State brings it up with a little steam under their wings a little bit. Garcia a drive and a kick. Extra pass finds Arenas an open three. Crowd was waiting to explode. The rebound though to White. Heal into the lane, spins, lays it up and in.
All comes from a second chance opportunity. Loose ball, 50-50 rebound goes to Ramaya White in the corner. Kansas State on the attack. Tess Heal able to finish.
Just the 6th offensive rebound for the Wildcats today. That had been one of their strengths. Ware, great pass, finds Hilton. Line drive three, no, and Spicer fouled, trying to get the rebound. That'll send us to a break, so Jordan Spicer heating up for K-State. We'll hear more about Spicer coming up in a little bit. Heal and the Wildcats trying to make a game of it in the third.
Deep. The numbers were not great coming into today, shooting less than 20% from behind the arc, but so much of that is confidence. Getting yourself involved, finding other ways to generate opportunities for yourselves and for your teammates. The shots will fall. You've got to continue to play with confidence. Jeff Mittie says she does not lack for confidence to shoot the basketball. Now seeing it finally go in.
Garcia just backing Breyer down and going with a right hand hook. She's got 8 points. That's a Serena Sundell play that K-State ran for the last few years with their 6-foot point guard now doing it for Garcia. Pryor trying to go right back at her. Had no option but to back it out. A&M, even though K-State has shot it well, 7 of 11 here in the second half, the Aggies have been equally on fire, getting what they want, a lot of it in the paint.
And Lauren Ware getting a breather right now for A&M on the bench, but yet still size. And there's Nye Pryor off penetration, uses a hesitation, and she's able to finish with contact.
An and one for Pryor, who has 18 points.
Turns the corner, keeps the possession alive, doesn't pick up her dribble, splits the defenders, goes right around, and Ramaya White, she is out of position, too much contact, and a chance at that old-fashioned three-point play for the 5'3" senior.
You can see that Pryor, despite her stature, is a very strong young lady.
Absolutely. It is athleticism, it's strength, it's speed, and she utilizes it so well. Understands that when you get in amongst the trees, you get inside that paint, you are going to get hit. You got to take that contact, figure out a way to finish, use the backspin, get it up on the board, and give it a chance to go in.
Travel on Garcia. She tried to get away from the double team. That's the first turnover of the third quarter. So in that regard, K-State had done a good job. They had 6 less possessions than A&M in the second quarter because of turnovers. A big reason why the Aggies outscored K-State 26-15. And now a turnover right back. Diving to the court was Harad. Heal will drive, go to the basket and score.
You come out and contest the three. Tess Heal, her ability to put it on the floor. You cannot settle, and you cannot be one-dimensional. And you see that right here from the senior. That's what she made a living at Santa Clara her first 2 seasons in the college game.
Well, and the threat of Spicer in the corner prevented anybody helping off on the drive by Heal. Now Pryor beautifully drawing the defense, lays it off, and Parker gets her first basket.
Just patience right there from the senior, not to get too busy, not to be able to get in too much of a hurry. And the and one continuation coming on the other end for Azella Arenas. You take that if you're Jeff Mittie and this Kansas State offense, because when they have had standstill possessions, had to be more in the half court, it's not where they have thrived today.
K-State has attacked Pryor, trying to get her into foul trouble. That is her third. Now you have Arenas with her quickness who draws the foul.
And I think an interesting dilemma for Joni Taylor and her staff. They're going to leave Pryor in for now. They've gotten some solid minutes off the bench from the freshman and Cheney Spencer, but Pryor's going to stay in and control this for the Aggies out front.
Yeah, she's the game changer, no doubt. I mean, Spencer's done some good things, but Pryor has dominated this game. And a hand check foul on Arenas on the drive by Hilton. Second foul on K-State.
You can see it trying to be aggressive, and you want to get out in pressure, but you've got to be able to do that without that hand contact. It's going to be a whistle. It's a point of emphasis throughout the course of college basketball this season. That whistle is coming.
Wildcats 9 of 13 from the field here in this second half. Now a turnover forced by Arenas. Got into the lap of Pryor. She'll spin inside, missed the shot. Harad the offensive putback.
It's what you need from the freshman. You've got to play hard, follow it in. It's never guaranteed. And Harad with a big offensive rebound.
Foul the other way, A&M on the drive. Garcia with a push. It'll be her second foul. K-State is within 4, however, by crashing the glass.
Heads up play by Brandy Harad just to be able to run the floor and see it. Arenas couldn't get it to go in transition, but you see the explosiveness of some of these new faces for Kansas State, these freshmen. Such a highly touted recruiting class for Jeff Mittie coming in this season. Expectations high of what they can do and how they can produce, each doing it in their own way.
Spicer knocks it away on the pass intended for Ware. K-State can pull within a possession. Tess Heal on the drive to the basket, fouled, and she'll get to the free throw line.
Just 2 possessions earlier, the exact play by Tess Heal to be able to use the hesitation. They take away the 3-point shot, puts it on the floor, goes hard left. The first time she was able to finish, now she's headed to the free throw line. The senior, 75% so far coming into today from the free throw line, and knocks down the first of 2.
Heal at 75%, the team at 75%, but Heal a career 87% free throw shooter. So this is the one you want at the line if you're K-State.
And this has been a game of runs. We've seen it by A&M, especially in the first half. Kansas State, then A&M making one here in the third. But now the Wildcats on a 7-0 run in under just a minute.
Back-to-back 26-15 quarters by these two teams. One by A&M, now one by K-State. And Tess Heal, the first in double figures for the Wildcats, her first double-figure game of the season for K-State. The 75th of her career. Drive and a kick. In the lane, tough shot. Blocked by Harad, but a foul. Harad thought she got all ball.
Yeah, 2 whistles right there, both from 2 officials. They both put the hand up, and Harad's gonna come and help. There is some contact. It's not as much to everyone out there watching, and I know the fans can't see this that are here in the arena, but it isn't as much about the contact on the ball. It is the slap as her hand came through. Her arm comes down and makes that contact. That's where the whistle comes from the official.
It's usually not a good idea to windmill at someone and then follow through.
When you hear people say stay vertical, verticality, all of those buzzwords in college basketball, that's what we mean. Don't swipe. Don't just put that arm down and go at it full force. You got to stay straight up and down.
On the positive side, Harad and Spicer have provided a little stability for K-State in the post. Here's Harad. Hard into Ware, and a whistle finally comes. K-State had been asking for that. And the foul on Ware will send Harad to the free throw line.
Yeah, a late whistle that time comes, but a loose ball can't be corralled by Lauren Ware. Brandy Harad able to get to it.
At the very last bit, you can see Ware
creating just a little bit more contact, and then the hand goes down and the arm makes that last second contact. That's where the whistle, and it came from the far official on the wing. So that was probably more of the angle than he had, even from Scott Yarborough underneath the basket. Regardless, Harad at the line, trying to keep this a 1-possession ball game down the stretch here in the third quarter for Kansas State.
It's been a struggle for Harad at the line here tonight or today, but she does make the second. 2 out of 6 at the free throw line for Harad. And a foul on the inbound on Arenas. That's going to be the 5th foul on K-State in this quarter. 2nd on Isela, and that'll put Cheney Spencer at the free throw line for the first time this season for A&M.
Yeah, a lot of contact out front by the freshman. She got whistled for it just a couple moments ago here in the third quarter in the half court. But you can't hold. You've got to keep your hands off. Play with your feet, not with your hands. And the freshman stepping up and knocking down free throws, giving them some big minutes with Pryor on the bench with those 3 fouls.
Spencer makes the first, one more coming up. She'll miss it. The rebound, Harad. Harad now with 5 boards. Garcia, as K-State got within a possession in this quarter, trying to get closer. And Garcia bumped by Kent.
And that is not what A&M wants to do, is that you've got to be able to contain that penetration, which they did a good job in the first half of doing it without fouling. You do not want to continue to send K-State to the free throw line in those positions. They've got to stay in that defensive stance. You got to funnel them towards the help side. But the aggressiveness of Gina Garcia off the dribble penetration. She's very patient. She allows the play to develop. All of that is a big piece of what she can do with the ball in her hands.
Garcia makes the first. She's got one more coming up. And she'll make the second. 10 points now for Gina Garcia. Sides wanted a double dribble. Spencer may have gotten away with one there. Where? Kent slams into Heal and then gets called for a walk.
A lot of contact. A&M trying to run a bit of a dribble weave, see if he can't turn the corner and get loose into the middle of the lane. But a much better job on that possession by Kansas State of communicating and being in position. Where the struggle has been real to contain penetration, much better job here late in the third.
Now what does K-State draw up on the offensive end? Sides has returned. Picked up by Spencer. Sides with the ball fake, driving a kick. Heal is an open 3. No. Rebound, where? Bounced off of a Wildcat. It'll be Aggie basketball with 44.5 seconds left in the third.
And no reset on that shot clock. While 2 seconds doesn't necessarily always mean a lot, it can down the stretch. We've seen some possessions for both of these teams go late into the shot clock in this third quarter.
No field goals the last 2.5 minutes here for Texas A&M. With no Pryor on the court with 3 fouls, their leading scorer at 19 in this game. Three-pointer left side, rattles in for Webster.
Jordan Webster coming in off the bench here. Now 2 of 2 from behind the arc in this game. A big 3 to push this back to a 2-possession game.
A couple of those threes today by A&M with Ware kind of running the front line defense to set up the opening. Does K-State get a last-second shot from Garcia again in the third? She'll drive, find Harad in the paint, a little teardrop. And that will end the third. The Wildcats, who trailed by as many as 13, have come all the way back to get within a possession. Who made her commitment official with K-State, and then went on to win the knockout game of the McDonald's All-American contest on the national scene. And here she is having a great night for K-State, or a great afternoon for the Wildcats. 9 points, 3 threes, 31 points put up in the third quarter by K-State to get within 3 points of A&M. Kick ball defensively, and it feels like, Missy, defense though is where K-State is ratcheted up to allow them to get to 31 on the offensive end.
There's no doubt they had to. They had to be able to be much better in the half court defensively, limit Texas A&M to so many opportunities just to slice and dice this Wildcat defense. So you like their effort and the enthusiasm they've brought in. Now a 5-second call and no option for A&M. Thought they could have burned a timeout, but they do not, and that is a careless dead ball turnover right there by the Aggies.
5 second-half turnovers after only 4 in the first half for Texas A&M. And K-State gets the ball, so an empty possession to open up. See a change here. Pryor not guarding Garcia. She backs down the defender. She'll turn, shoot, and score, and a little bit of the savviness that the freshman showed in the National European Tournament over in Portugal, where her team won the Euro Basketball League. She delivers, but A&M continues to be hot. Webster, another three-pointer.
The last 2 shots Webster has taken, she has knocked down big threes to create a little bit of separation and continue to kick this thing to a 2-possession game for A&M.
Garcia again backing down. Pryor's got 3 fouls. Harad, the mid-range, could not hit it, and the rebound to A&M.
If you're the Aggies, that's what has to happen. You've got to force the ball out of Gina Garcia's hands. She can go one-on-one, look to isolate, and be able to use that step back and the fadeaway jumper. She's versatile to be able to score. You want her to give it up and then make it contested shots.
Three-pointer by Kent doesn't go. Rebound batted out. Everybody diving for the ball. Pryor comes out of there with it for A&M. A gamble for her with those 3 fouls, but you're in the fourth quarter now. Putting it all on the line. The A&M Aggies here for the first time since 2012. And an offensive foul on Ware as she hits Harad, and Harad sells it with a drop to the ground.
Yeah, she went to the floor, which means you're more than likely going to get a whistle. Lauren Ware has been setting that high ball screen all day, just releases a bit too quickly. You got to let that defender go. There was a lot of space there. Let him clear, then you can roll. She doesn't get it to go.
Somehow Taryn Sides got left wide open, and the Aggies dodge a big bullet with a three-pointer missed. Sides trying to get the turnover, but Pryor had it knocked out of her hand.
Quick hands right there. Yeah, looks as though it does go off Taryn Sides, but they are going to go to a challenge here by Kansas State. Coach's challenge by Jeff Mittie on this possession right here.
So a coach's challenge will send this to a timeout. Texas A&M and K-State. In a review, K-State challenging here on the out-of-bounds call. And as you can see, this is the new process of 2025-26. No limit to how many appeals a coach may initiate, although it does require you have timeouts. And you can
after review, call on the floor stands. Texas A&M ball.
So there you go. Brian Hall says the call stands. Not enough to overturn.
And because that is an unsuccessful appeal, it does result in Kansas State losing a timeout, which will take them from 3 to 2 here for the remainder of the fourth. This is the angle. They had said it was off Taryn Sides' hands. They did not have anything that would dispute it at that point. From that angle, it does look as though Sides' hand swiped in. Pryor had her hands out, but it didn't change the trajectory of the basketball, and that's what they're looking at in that review process. But unsuccessful by the Cats, A&M keeps the basketball.
A couple of different categories that you can challenge that's allowable in hoops. Not every whistle is challengeable. Where an offensive rebound and a call on the board.
And that has been one of the few offensive boards and second chances that Texas A&M has had here in this second half. It has been a much better job by the Wildcats of that one-and-done mentality, which we saw from the Aggies in the first 20 minutes. But K-State giving up a big offensive board now. That 20-second reset, it comes with a foul and a 20-second reset of the shot clock for A&M.
The foul was on Spicer, so that's her third. Pryor wanted to drive. Shot clock under 10. Ware directing traffic. Webster. Pryor will let it go. High arcing three, not there. The rebound, Harad had it. It's knocked out by Texas A&M's Kent.
Pryor took the three. She maybe had one more pass to the corner that would have given Hilton the spot and been available. But she lets it fly from deep. It's not a bad look. It just couldn't get it to go.
Spicer. Now to Taryn Sides. Trying to get Spicer isolated, and she turns it over.
And Janae Kent, the 6'1" junior guard, who we mentioned started all 29 games a season ago as a sophomore for A&M. She has drawn the assignment now of trying to shut down Jordan Spicer. This was a concern of Joni Taylor. She said 23 could shoot. We've got to get out and contain and contest. And that job has fallen to Janae Kent.
Spicer got herself unlocked with a lot of long, deep threes early in the game. Her first multi-three-pointer game as a Wildcat. Pryor almost in a bad spot. To Hilton. Again, the shot clock winding down. Garcia picks her pocket, but a foul will be called on K-State. And for more on Kent, let's go to Sophie Smith.
Thanks, Brian. This spring, actually, Janae Kent had to have surgery after getting clipped by someone on a bike riding her scooter on the way to the gym and broke her collarbone. And after not having the season she wanted last year, she had more time to reflect and fall back in love with the game. She even made a vision board of what she wanted this season to look like and how she was going to make her goals happen. And for her, the conversation is simple. Simple is special. Knock down open shots, defend at a high level, and rebound the basketball. And she's been doing just that.
And she buries a three right on cue.
A huge shot right there from the junior in the corner. One of the best possessions in the fourth by the Aggies. Offensively, great ball movement. Kansas State was scrambling.
Tess Heal, who's been able to find some success driving to the basket. She'll do it again. Tess Heal's best game as a Wildcat, 13 points to tie for, or to lead K-State.
Jeff Mittie has been very clear. She's probably been one of the most consistent that they have had, especially of the newcomers this year. Because of her experience, high basketball IQ, understands the game, limited sometimes physically, but making the plays at the time when they need it the most.
Crowd does not like Pryor going to the ground on a bump from Terrence Sides.
They just kind of get their feet tangled. Pryor a bit off balance as well, but that contact comes. So much traffic in the lane. You're just kind of waiting for that whistle to appear. It does. It's going to go against Terrence Sides.
Ware, who's been such a big factor today for A&M. Trying to get loose down underneath, working against Spicer, who has 3 fouls. K-State's gone small with Spicer playing in place of their starter, Claessens, not here, still with the Belgian national team. Kent may have had that three-pointer partially tipped. Picked back up. It's Pryor with it. 15 on the shot clock. Aggies, who led by 13, only up by 5.
Yeah, good patience right here by A&M in the half court. Second chance opportunities.
Garcia with a block on the drive by Pryor. Garcia in transition. Spicer wanted to pull up and drill it, but couldn't get room. It finds Heal. She's run off the three-point line. Good defense by the Aggies. Out on shooters, and K-State has to set up this offense.
And this is where it's been more stagnant.
Spicer from deep.
No conscious for the freshman. She's going to let it fly from deep. That range comes in handy when the defense extends you 25, 30 feet. That now is within play.
And you see that quick release, which also will benefit her. Ware knocked away by Spicer. Pryor, who had the huge third quarter but has been quiet since, tries to silence the crowd, couldn't get it. Extra bounce off the rim, benefits Arenas with a rebound. And a chance for K-State to tie or take the lead. Wildcats have not led since 5-3. Pass was a little late, otherwise Spicer might have been open for another one. Heal running the show, driving all the way underneath, wrapping it around. Spicer, that same spot, run off of it. She'll drive, shot clock down to 5. Harad over, ties the game with a fadeaway. Her second double-figure game of the season.
Shot clock running down. Somebody's got to make a play. Where they've stalled in the half court, you get the freshman to step up and knock down the fadeaway jumper.
Crowd comes to life in Bramlage. First road game of the year for the Aggies. Ware with the shot clock winding down, guarded 3 on its way. No, Spicer the rebound. And here come the Wildcats again. A 7-0 run for K-State. Garcia wanting some time and asking for the defense to come. Double team to Harad. She'll drive on Ware, lay it up. No, the rebound tapped. It falls to Pryor. Pryor speeding up the court. She'll lay it in, and the Aggies are back in front.
One of the few opportunities for Texas A&M to create that quick offense with their defense. Verticality and a big block by Lauren Ware inside.
60th career 20-point game for Pryor. Harrod on another pass. Leans in on Ware as it knocked away. Jumping on the ground was Harrod, and K-State wanted a timeout. The arrow will go to K-State.
Yeah, jump ball now. That possession is going to stay with Kansas State with 2:43. That coming with a much better effort by this Wildcat squad in this second half.
Time winding down. You see 2:43 left in the ball game. Kansas State will inbound underneath the basket. Tess Heal's had a good day for K-State. She's doubled in the corner, and Jeff Mitty, sensing trouble, will burn a timeout. That will leave K-State with just one timeout remaining because they lost one. If you just joined us, they lost one on a challenge earlier in this second half.
But give credit, that was a great defensive stand by A&M on the out of bounds underneath. They covered the screens well inside and then forced the Wildcats to have to inbound it into one of the toughest places to catch on the out of bounds underneath, and that's deep in the corner. Unless you've got a quick outlet up top where K-State had zero other places to go, you're going to put your team in a tough spot. Kansas State, as you said, now just down to one timeout for the remainder of this game. Over 2:40 to go.
See the fouls to give as well. Texas A&M in a good spot in that regard. K-State, though, not much room left as far as fouls. Can commit another and not see free throws go up. Garcia flashing baseline. The ball will be inbound instead to Harrod. Harrod off the dribble, driving in on Janae, who just came back, and a basket for Harrod, who's got 12 points, a career high.
It's been a quiet game from Fast Janae, but the one-on-one and isolation for Brandy Harrod, that's where they've had success against these A&M posts in the second half.
No Lauren Ware for A&M at the moment. Pryor has the ball into Janae. Got the matchup against Arenas on the switch.
Yeah, isolation one-on-one, and as she came hard across that lane, they were able to hit her. A great feed from Pryor to allow the play to develop.
Garcia down to the block where she can operate. Working against Pryor. The help comes. Harrod, another teardrop shot. Couldn't get it to fall.
Can't almost get a better look than that if you are Kansas State, and now it's off to the races here for A&M.
Based on the reaction of the bench, it seemed that they wanted Harrod to attack the basket as opposed to shoot that jumper.
Yeah, don't settle. You've got to be able to go right at the defense. And with Janae being in foul trouble all day today.
What a play by Pryor. 23 points and an and one on another circus finish.
That's the play that Kansas State wanted out of Brandy Harrod. Instead, it is a breakdown off the dribble penetration. Everyone out of position. And Nye Pryor just continuing to dominate here this afternoon. On the road into a Big 12 hostile environment, and nothing seems to phase her. If there's one thing you want to see from a point guard, I would say cool, calm, and collected. That is exactly what Nye Pryor has been today.
She'll miss the free throw. Spice to the rebound. It's a 4-point game with 1:30 to go. Heal. Will drive, stop, spin, shoot, score.
At this point, if you're A&M, you're going to give up the twos. You don't want to give up the deep threes. It has been a shadow and a hand in the face of the shooters here late in this fourth quarter.
Ware is at the table to check in, but Pryor with the ball with a minute to go. Got to think she's going to be the one to take the shot. She'll circle it around. We'll see if the ball gets back to her.
They've got a mismatch underneath with Gina Garcia in the post, trying to exploit it, but they can't get her the basketball.
Shot clock winding down. Janae, a three. Banks misses, and a shot clock violation gives K-State the ball. Down 2 with 40 seconds to go. Ware returning. She will replace Hilton. Leave Janae in there. Trying to get those mismatches on the offensive end.
And A&M had it with Janae down on that low block. Gina Garcia had been switched on to her. but couldn't feed the post, couldn't get her one-on-one. Now here an opportunity for Kansas State. You got to execute. You got to give yourself a quality possession.
Heal with the drive, spinning in the lane. Couple of moves, she gets bumped. The ball is knocked out. It'll stay with K-State. 26 seconds remaining, and I think A&M wants to challenge on whether the ball was actually touched by A&M.
Yeah, and Johnny is saying she did not touch the basketball. As Heal spins, she keeps it. And yeah, that very well could be off Tess Heal, unless we can see from this angle. Yeah, that ball more than likely
Previous play of
is going to be
Kansas State
going
ball
back
is
to
under review.
Texas A&M.
That's clearly, well, first of all, you could make a good argument that that's a foul.
Yes.
Making the foul call. But as you said, clearly there's no way that was off of Johnny.
Yeah, and Fast Johnny just kept her hands up, played it well. As you said, I do think there was a lot of contact off the dribble as Tess Heal went for the step through, trying to see if she couldn't draw a foul, get herself to the free throw line, get a whistle as you take that contact. Doesn't happen.
K-State has committed 4 fouls, so if this does go to A&M, do you play it out or do you go to you foul immediately?
That's a tough question. I mean, you've got 25.9. The issue here is that you're going to almost have to, you're going to have to go quick. And I think you probably want to foul and you want to put them at the free throw line. Keep it within a 1 to 2 possession game. You don't want to allow them to just run the clock out on you, because there is not going to be a differentiator between shot clock and game clock.
A&M, because this is a challenge.
After review, the call on the court has been changed. Texas A&M ball.
And that is a big whistle right there, because now you've got under 30 seconds here. You're looking for a tip or a steal right off the inbounds. Otherwise, you've got to foul quick.
K-State will foul Johnny. And Johnny, who wanted to talk a little bit about how aggressive she was fouled, her teammates quickly were telling her, nope.
As well was the coaching staff. She's going to catch in the backcourt, and yes, Tess Heal going after the basketball, a little extracurricular, pretty aggressive for both players. But now you've got Fats Johnny, and she's going to head to the, Johnny's going to head to the free throw line. She had a stellar career at St. Peter's. When I asked Joni Taylor about her, she actually, when she came back from England, that's where she is originally from, had an injury when she came to campus in August. So she is just starting to really feel 100% physically and within this system, even though she comes into today averaging a double-double.
Foul trouble early mitigated her impact on the game, but she's now at 10 points. She'll check out.
Lamaya Hilton back in, a little offense for defense right here from A&M.
Garcia bumped by Pryor in the backcourt. Gets it into the front court. 20 seconds left, down 4. Garcia will drive, drop it off. Harrod crashing, misses the layup, and a rebound to Lauren Ware. Foul will go to Pryor on sides. And we'll go to the other end.
You got the exact look that you wanted. Downhill with Gina Garcia and the ball in her hands. She's looking to drive and dish. She did it at the end of the third quarter with an easy bucket. That time it was to Harrod, and she can't get it to go. You stay vertical. They didn't contest, and Lauren Ware pulls down the rebound. And this now is where A&M can separate themselves. Still a 2-possession ball game.
Pryor to the free throw line, and she'll miss the first. So Pryor just 2 out of 5 at the stripe. 23 points, a game high, 6 assists, 5 boards. She'll make the second for 24. K-State racing up the court, but running out of time. Garcia all the way underneath, wanted to hit Harrod. The ball comes all the way out to Spicer. Knocked out, it'll stay with K-State with 3 seconds left, but down 5. This all but automatic. Johnny back in, replacing Watson, or Webster.
A little too much over dribble by Gina Garcia. Tried to go baseline, tried to get that hook pass in, but it wasn't there. Kansas State took too much time off the clock.
Harrod, guarded 3, will be up, it'll miss, and Texas A&M will defeat K-State for just the 3rd time ever here in the Little Apple and make the series